That's okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, so you can see me. All right, so today, hi. And I think that there might be one or two more people coming because other people registered. So we'll see because you never know. Um, I always like to start, Leslie, I think this might be your first class with me. I'm not sure, maybe it's the first chair. I like to start, as you know, with a little bit of a Dharma talk, which is sort of what I've been thinking about, a little wisdom and something to think about, the theme sort of for the session. And I've been thinking a lot about kindness. So I'll preface it with a little story. My son, who is now 32 and a really good man, when he was 10, he, fifth grade, he came home from school and he said, Mom, the teacher asked us what the most important thing it was to be in life. Like, what is the most important thing to be? And I knew the answer. So I raised my hand and I said, kind. And the teacher said, wrong. And I don't remember what the teacher said, but he said, I was so proud of at this moment at our dinner table that I never forgot it. And he said, but our family, we know that kindness is the most important thing. And I know that I'm right. I know my teacher's wrong. So it is, I still think, the most important thing. And we've all been on the receiving end of unkindness, and we know that that doesn't feel good. And we've probably all been on the receiving end, on the giving end, or on the action end of not being kind at times. And that doesn't feel so good either. I know for me, I think about if in life the things that I've done that have been unkind live with me forever, and I feel horrible about it. So today, I just want to say that kindness really starts with being kind to yourself. So tying it to yoga and today and to Friday and to every time I teach, being kind to yourself on the mat or on the chair is important. You want to modify any poses to suit your ability for the day, because every day is a different story. Some days you might have pain in your knee. Other days you might have more flexibility in your spine. Whatever it is, be kind to yourself on that day. So we're going to tie the theme of kindness in with our breathing and our little bit of meditation today, and then I'll set you up in the chair after we do our breathing today. So we're just going to do some very deep breaths. I'm not going to tie it into Ujjayi. We're going to tie it into a metta meditation, which is a kindness meditation. So there are 5 stages of a loving kindness meditation. We're going to breathe in, and you're going to think about a person, or you're going to start with the 5 stages. Is number 1, the first breath, the inhale, you're going to be thinking about yourself. The exhale on each of these 5 breaths is going to be, you're going to be saying to yourself, may you be happy, healthy, and at peace. The second inhale, and I'll cue it as we go, but you might want to start to think about who these people are. You're going to picture in your mind one person that you love, be it a friend or a family member, and you're going to repeat, may you be happy, healthy, and at peace on the exhale. The third person you're going to think about is an acquaintance. You're going to send that person the good wishes. The fourth person is going to be someone, this is going to be the hardest one, that you're in a quote disagreement with, or someone that you really don't like too much, and you're going to be sending that person thoughts of kindness and love. And the 5th breath, the 5th meditation is to the world. So we'll start with a deep inhale, thinking about yourself. Inhale, think about yourself, and as you exhale, just repeat, may you be happy, healthy, and at peace in your mind. You don't have to say it, it's harder to breathe. Deep breath in, picture a friend or a loved one. And as you exhale, may you be happy, healthy, and at peace. The third breath in is an acquaintance. Picture someone that you know, maybe don't know too well. And then say, may you be happy, healthy, and at peace on the exhale. The fourth one is someone that you are in disagreement with. Picture that person and send them the thoughts, may you be happy, healthy, and at peace. And the last one, Take a deep breath in and think of the whole world. Give that world a hug. And let's say, may you be happy, healthy, and at peace on the exhale. Thank you. Let's set ourselves up in the chair. So the first thing we're going to look at is you should have a blanket near you, and just take a look at where your knees are in relation to your hips. You should be centered in the chair with at least a fist distance apart from the back of the chair. Your knees, if your knees are lower than your hips in line, you take your blanket, you put it on the floor, and you step onto the blanket to raise the knees. If the opposite is true for you and your hips are lower than your knees, which is a possibility, then you want to lift your hips up and put the blanket under your hips so that your hips are even. If you're suffering from high blood pressure, you probably already know this, but you may not want to be lifting your arms overhead, in which case when I cue for arms overhead, which will be a lot, keep your arms at heart center. You can come into prayer hands, hands at hips, hands on your sides. You know, be kind to yourself. Take it easy, don't go if you can. And also if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, there is both sides of the coin here. There are people who say you shouldn't be rounding your back. Don't round your back if that's what your doctor says. There are others who say that rounding your back strengthens your back. I'm going to leave it to you. Be kind to yourself in either case. So we're going to start, after we did our breathing, with a warming up the spine. So we're going to breathe in. I'm always going to cue the inhale and the exhale. So as we inhale, we're raising our arms, and put strength in the arms because this is an isometric exercise. Let your palms touch. We're keeping our neck neutral so that it's just an extension of the spine. And we're going to raise our torso as we sink our hips, and we're going to add a little bit of fluff, a little bit of space in between the vertebrae of the spine. See if you can gain a ½ inch. Keep those hands tall, get tall in the spine, get long in the spine. At the same time, press your feet into the floor, press your sit bones into the chair. We're rooting and rising. Our spine can get long. This is one of the 7 movements. Put your hands down. You can allow your spine to come back to neutral. Let your hands come onto your knees and slide them down your legs as you bend at the hip crease, not at the waist. So it's at the hip crease. Now keeping your back very straight so that it might just be here where you are, or if you can bring the belly down onto the thighs, that's good for a forward bend in the chair. Take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. Usually in yoga, when you inhale, you're allowing your spine to get long. So even here, while we're forward bending, allow the spine as it's resting here to get long. Slide the hands back up on an exhale and come back. And as you inhale, take your hands behind you onto the chair and lean back, also at the hip crease. We're not bending at the waist, but you're doing a back bend here. The neck, though, is neutral. It's a one long extension of the spine. And come back to center. Let your right hand come to the side of the chair as the left hand comes up, and as you inhale, we come to the right. Now, I know I might not be looking to you like I'm leaning to the right. Zoom is a little bit crazy. I've tried both ways. I don't know how to mirror anymore. I think when I lean to the left, I don't know, some people see me on the right. I am leaning to my right. You lean to your right or your left. Just make sure you do the other side. So as you inhale, see if you can allow yourself to get long. You get strong on the inhale, and as you exhale, you relax into it. Yoga is a combination of strength and relaxation, strength and sweetness, as they like to say in Sanskrit. It's stira and sukha. Sukha sounds like sugar. And we're still leaning, and you feel, so the compression is on the right side if you're leaning to the right, and the stretch is on the left. Come back to center, allow the left hand to touch the side of the chair. Take an inhale on the inhale, get tall, allow your hand to come up, and let's lean to the left on the exhale. So again, as you inhale, get strong, get long, and as you exhale, allow your body to relax. So we went up, we went forward, we went back, we went side to side. Now bring it back to neutral. Now we're going to take the last 2 movements of the spine, which is only true in yoga, because yoga is the only practice that takes you into a twist. Take your right hand and bring it behind you. Hold on to the back of the chair. Your left hand can come onto the chair or onto your knee, whatever's comfortable, before you twist. And the inhale, get tall. So don't twist yet. Just inhale, get tall. Exhale, look over your right shoulder and relax. On the inhale, get tall again and get strong. And on the exhale, you relax and look over the right shoulder. Come back to neutral, cross your hands over your front legs. Take your left hand onto the back of the chair behind you. Again, before you even go into the twist, because it's our nature to just start twisting, get on the inhale, so take a deep breath in and get tall. Stretch that spine up, get the spine nice and strong. And then as you exhale, you look over the shoulder and you'll probably notice a difference in flexibility, in ability for one side versus the other. Again, as you inhale, get tall, and as you exhale, you relax. And that's true of every posture that you're in yoga. When you inhale, you get strong, you get tall, you lengthen, and as you exhale, you relax a little deeper into the pose. Come back to center. We're going to do some shoulder circles. So take the shoulders back behind you, up and around. Just give them a few circles. And then when you do about 3 or 4 of them, go in the opposite direction. We always have to make sure our body's nice and even. Bring your shoulders down to neutral. Put your right hand in front of you. Bring it over across the body. Take your left forearm and hold that. We're going to give the shoulders a stretch this direction. No pain. If you feel, you're allowed to take yourself in yoga to the edge, but if you feel any pain above any normal level of pain, let go. Let's just do the other side. So left arm comes out in front, cross it over the body. Allow the forearm to grab that as you stretch the shoulder in this direction. We're going to do a neck roll. So we always want to watch that our shoulders are not up in our ears, right? That would just be tension. So make sure your shoulders are down, away from the ears. But now we're going to take our right ear and bring it to our right shoulder. So it's ear to shoulder, not shoulder to ear, and they're never going to meet. Well, it depends how long your neck is. I guess we're all different. Our anatomy is different. And if I have a very long neck, someone has a shorter neck, maybe they can get their ear to their shoulder. So as you exhale, allow your chin to come towards your chest. And as you inhale, bring your left ear to the left shoulder. We're not going back because we want to be careful with the back of the spine. Again, inhale, come forward. Exhale, come to the other side. And just do that a few times. You can allow it to come just a little bit more fluid. We're going to stretch our wrists down. So put your arms both up in front of you. Now, here's the thing about yoga. When I say put your arms out, you can just like loosely have your arms out with no strength, or you can put some isometric strength into your arms. So we're going to flex our wrists and put our hands as if they were holding a wall. Spread your fingers really wide as they can, and then take the thumbs in about 1/2 inch, because we want to be very careful with that thumb joint, especially since we're holding phones all the time. And this is called a web, right? So all of yoga postures are named after animals, almost all. I guess warriors or not, but you got a million animal postures. These are webbed hands, like a duck. So we're in webs. Now take your fingers and make claws. This is great if you have a little arthritis in your fingers. You are putting strength into that joint that is inflamed, and it's really good for the joint. And we need strength in our hands. So your wrist is still flexed, but you're making a claw. Now take the hands out and make a beak. And use that thumb. You can almost feel the blood rush in there. And now make a fist, as if you were punching a wall. Keep those arms really strong, and you're in pause. Great. Bring your hands back onto your legs, and we're just going to do a torso circle. So now, just like before we move the spine in its directions, we're bringing the torso around, whether you go clockwise or counterclockwise. Do it 3 or 4 times, and then stop and go in the other direction. With your hands still on your knees and your Now centered in the chair, make sure your rib cage is over your hips. Your ankles are under your knees. Your knees are even with the hips. Your rib cage is over your hip bones and your shoulders are over your hips. Your head is on straight right in the middle. When we look at our phones, like, a little bit when we're walking, that 30-degree tilt of the head makes your head weigh about between 30 and 40 pounds. On top of your head, when it's centered, it's between 10 and 12 pounds. So let's try to remember that as you're looking at your phone, correct your head. We're gonna do a little cat and cow. Hands on your knees. We're going to take the navel and bring it towards the spine and round the back, tuck the chin as you exhale. And then bring the navel towards the knees and almost it's like a back bend. Take the shoulders back, lift the head, and we are in cow as you inhale. So think of it as the belly comes forward, you inhale, you exhale as the navel reaches towards the spine and you have your back in a rainbow. And we just move like that with the breath. We're just warming up so we can do all of our flow in a little while. Cat and cow is really important. Okay, come back to neutral. We're just gonna move those legs a little because they've been sitting there at the bottoms of our body. Take your feet, bring yourself up to your toes. Put some strength in those calves. And then take them to the heels. So we're gonna heel toe, just heel toe, point and flex. Now you should have a block with you. You only need one today. Take it, place it between your thighs, squeeze the block, and then lift the right leg. You're working the inner thigh here. Hold that leg up, see if you can lift it a little bit more, point and flex it. Allow it to come down, bring the left leg up, flex it, point. Just hold it up here. Squeeze the thighs together, squeeze that block. Keep your shoulders straight. I just found myself like almost, slumping. Keep yourself up, upright. Okay, hands, feet back under. You might have a blanket under your feet, which is fine. Press your feet into the floor, spread your toes wide. Lift your toes up. So we're not pointing or flexing, you're just lifting your toes up, and you can almost feel some energy in the knees. Bring your toes back down. Actually, bring your toes back up. Place the big toe down. Place the pinky toe down. Now, if you're wearing sneakers, I think, Marsha, you're probably wearing sneakers. See if you can do this inside your shoe, because you can kind of do this. This is more mind-body, and I love working on this with my students. So your three middle toes, try to keep them up while the pinky toe and the big toe are down on the ground. Hard to do, worth working on. It's really about mind-body connection. Okay, plant all the toes down, press the feet into the floor, your hips into the chair. We're about to start at sun salutation. Hands are on our side, palms forward. There's energy in the arms and strength in the arms. Palms are up, and as we inhale, we take the arms, touch the sky, we look up at the hands. Exhale, bring the hands down, take them down, and a forward bend. So these are all movements we did in the warm-up. You're bending at the hip crease. Inhale, come up halfway. You're still leaning forward with a very flat back, and exhale, come back down. Inhale, bring your feet up to the balls of your feet. Your hands are in that web motion that we had before. Strengthen the arms. This is actually a plank position in chair yoga. You're in a plank. Slide the hands up for down dog and bring the feet forward, but flat on the ground. Your heels are down and press them into the floor. You're leaning forward at the hip crease. You're like in a V. If you could tip forward, you'd be in a down dog on the floor. Hold it here, breathe, take 3 deep breaths. Allow the hands to come to the knees, slide the feet in, come back down to forward bend. Bending at the hip crease. Inhale halfway with a flat back. Exhale, come back down to forward bend. And as you inhale, reverse swan dive the arms up and bring the hands to heart center. Take a block. You had your hands at heart center. Squeeze the hands together with a block in between. Make sure you're using the whole hand, not just the palm of the hand. Press the fingers into the block. All 5 fingers on each hand, plus press the palm in. This is a great isometric arm workout. Release the block. We're going to go into a flow. We're going to start by going into wide angle pose. So take your legs apart as wide as they can go. Toes are out, heels are in. Actually, we're going to keep the block near us on the high. So blocks have 3 levels: low, medium, high. Put it on the high, put it right in the middle. Put your right hand on the block. The block should be so that when you are leaning at the hip crease, we never lean at the waist, at the hip crease, that your hand, your wrist is under the shoulder. It's not in front of the shoulder. We don't want to hurt the rotator cuff. It's not behind. It would be right under the shoulder. Take your hand onto your left knee. Lean your torso so that you're looking to the left and you're twisting here. So you're twisting your torso so that you're facing the left and your arm comes up. You can keep your arm, if that bothers you, you can keep your arm on your hip. You can keep your arm on the knee. Now, at the same time, notice my right knee is leaning towards. See if you can try to keep that right knee pressed to its own side, which is going to be difficult. And then switch hands. So now we put our left hand down. The block shouldn't move. It should still be in the middle. Keep your left knee. Now the tendency is going to be that the left knee wants to come in. Make sure you're getting long. So bend at the hip crease, not at the waist, and allow your spine to get really long before you turn, right? We're inhaling, we're gaining length. As we exhale, we turn and we twist. So it's the same movement we did in the chair to warm up, but it's a little bit deeper. Hand can come up, or it can come to the waist, or it can come behind you. You can actually, can you see my hand over here? It's twisted behind my back, but it's a twist. You don't want to feel any pain. So if your hand wants to just rest on the knee and push, that's fine. Come center, remove the block. Make sure your shoulders are over your hips. We want to realign ourselves. Now, our hands are up, hands are touching. Get long. I want you to focus on the shoulders behind your back, because you're going to feel the difference now as we take our arms and come into cactus arms or goddess arms. So your arms are shoulder height. Make sure your knees are out to their sides. Shoulder height, palms facing forward. You are in goddess arms, and you should be able to feel the shoulders integrate down your back. Turn and twist. So first inhale. I don't want to forget the inhale and get tall. Exhale, turn to the right. Inhale, come center. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhale, come center. Exhale, come to the right. When I'm talking, I can't really focus on the inhale and exhale. I don't want to go too fast for you. Inhale, come center. Get tall. Exhale, go to the left. Come center. I want you to take your hands and clasp them together, like have a clasp, and take it behind your head. And allow your head to be like a hammock for the back, the hands to be a hammock for the back of your head, and look up, elbows out. Chest is wide, heart is open, kindness is emanating from your heart. Okay, bring the legs together. So the shoulders come back. Take your left arm, bring it out in front of you. Let your right arm slide up, start to meet it, and then slide up like a bow and arrow. Do that again. And then let the right arm come out and do that with the left hand. Let it be like a bow and arrow. You're bringing the shoulder back. Okay, hands on your side. We're gonna do a warrior flow. So you're gonna lift up and come to the side of your chair, come to the right side, which is why we don't have chairs with arms. So your left hip should be able to almost come down. Now, if you have a block and you want to place the block here, you can allow your knee to drop right on the block. Totally fine. If you have the flexibility and if there's no pain involved, you can take that leg and bring it straight out, and the foot should be in like almost a 45-degree angle because we're going into warrior one. The front foot, make sure the knee is over the ankle. and the ankle is under the knee, that you're in a 90-degree angle, and the toes are pointed straight ahead. The knee should always be pointing in the same position as the second toe. Your right hand is holding the back of the chair. Your left hand is coming to heart center in a half prayer position. Now, you can work this pose, because I know that my legs just wanted to like collapse towards each other. The work is on the inner thighs. You're really keeping that leg to its side. You're keeping your torso up straight. And we're in Warrior One. Now, we're gonna take that left arm and raise it over our heads and wheelhouse it behind us as we take the right arm and place it so that it's over the knee, over the toes, over the foot. Our torso is facing the front of the chair, like facing in the same direction as the front of the chair, the front of the room. Our head, our drishti or our gaze is over the front fingers. Your torso is in the middle. So your left arm behind you is in your past, your right arm's in your future. You are in your center and you're gazing into the future. This is Warrior Two. Oh, and the back foot goes, and the toes, you can see me lift my toes, are now facing forward to the front of the room, the same as your body. Make sure you keep that knee over its ankle, the front knee, it's gonna try to turn. So the work is in your front thigh. Warrior Two. Take a deep inhale, get tall and strong, and as you exhale, let the left hand come down the thigh as your right hand comes over, and you're in Peaceful Warrior, and there's a bend. So again, we did all of this in the warm-up. You did a side stretch. We're just side stretching into Peaceful or Humble, no, not Humble, just Peaceful Warrior. Humble is something else. Now, as you exhale, take the forearm, place it on the front thigh. Remember to keep that knee over the second toe. The line is from the pinky toe. Press that pinky toe side of the foot into the floor. Take your left arm and bring it straight over your ear. Make sure your torso, you might want to take your hand and open up your chest, open up your heart as your torso is wide and you're in side angle pose. Notice that from the tip of my fingers over my head to the pinky toe side of the foot, I'm in a straight line. That's side angle pose. Breathe here. So we're coming into triangle now in the chair. We're going to take the block, put it on the inside of the foot at the high end. Let your hand, your right hand, come down onto that block. Let your elbow forearm press into the thigh so it keeps it on its own side. And you're taking your arms, so the arms are straight up and down. Your chest is wide, so you might want to take that left hand, open up the rib cage, and allow your hand to come up. This is triangle in the chair. Really, the leg movement hasn't changed. If we were on a mat, that front leg would be straight. Hold this, get strength in the hands, in the arms. And on an inhale, allow your torso to get long. If there was a wall behind you, you want to make sure your torso is leaning back a little bit. It's not a back bend, but it's a very straight line. If you took two panes of glass, at least that front part of your body, the leg, the arms, the torso, would be able to be between the two panes of glass. So on the next exhale, lift up and come back into Warrior Two. Hands to your hips, come center, and we have to do the other side. So now switch your hips to the left side of the chair. Align yourself so that your ankle is under your knee on the front leg. Hand is behind you holding the chair. You might want to use that block for your knee as you let that right hip come off the chair and bring that foot down. If you have the flexibility and it's within your range of motion, you can allow that back foot to come straight and the foot in a 45-degree angle. Your torso is straight over your hips. Keep that knee over the second toe and the ankle over it so it's a 90 degrees from the knee to the ankle, and take your right hand and place it on heart center for Warrior One. On this side, your torso is facing over the knee. Now, first thing, let's take that back foot if it's out straight and turn the toes so that they're facing forward. Take the right hand, wheelhouse it over so it's behind you, and the left hand comes in front of you. Your torso is now wide open and facing the front of the chair. Your gaze is over the front hand. Your gaze is into the future. Your back hand is in the past. You are in the center, and you're sending kindness out of your open heart to the world. In warrior 2, because you're a warrior. Now you're going to take that back hand and slide it down the leg for peaceful warrior int, which is really a side bend, right? Breathe here, take a deep breath, hold it. Don't hold the breath, hold the pose, keep breathing. And on the next inhale, bring that forearm to the front leg, press the pinky toe side of the foot into the ground as your right hand comes overhead and you're in a straight line from the pinky toe side of the foot to your your fingers of the right hand. You might want to take your hand, open up the rib cage, make sure your chest is wide, your heart is open as we're in side angle pose. Get that block handy, bring it to the inside of the leg. If you don't have a block, a paper towel roll, a book, and we're coming into triangle. So your left hand is on the block in a straight line, your right hand is up in the air, and we are in triangle in the chair. I think that rhymed. Hold it for a few breaths, deep breathing in and out through the nostrils. Let the right arm come back down, the left arm comes into warrior 2. Bring your hands to your waist and come forward in the chair. So we'll try pigeon. We're going to open up the hips a little bit in the chair. So take your left leg, make sure your knee is over the ankle. Let your right leg come up, hug the right leg to your chest. Flex the foot, point the foot, flex the foot, point the foot. We're going to do that anytime we have a chance. Then take that leg, cradle it so your foot is in your left hand and your knee is in your right hand, and place it over the thigh of the right leg. And you're in pigeon. So we're going to lean forward at the hip crease, not at the waist, just a little bit. You might feel it on the side because you're really stretching out your hip here. You can put your forearm over the knee. You can hold the foot, send the foot a little bit of love, kindness to the feet. They work hard for us. And that was our talk last week. We're leaning forward over this for pigeon where you're stretching out your hip. A few breaths here. Come back up and let's switch legs. So just make sure that your right leg is now aligned. Pick the left leg up, hug it to the chest. Deep breath, point and flex the foot. Take that left foot, put it into your right hand. Allow the ankle to come down on the thigh. Allow the forearm to press the knee down as you hold the foot with your hand and give it a little bit of love there. And lean forward at the hip crease for pigeon on the left side. And notice the difference between the right side and the left side. Body awareness here. Send your body some kindness too. We work those hips hard as women. Sit in chairs. We're hard on them because we sit a lot. Or we walk and we're tough on it, and then we tense our muscles as we walk. So now we're stretching. And come back to center. I think we'll do eagle really quickly. So put your right hand out in front of you, your left hand on top of it, and twirl the hands. If you can only get to here, that's fine. Just one arm on top of the other. If you can twist a little further so that your palms meet, that's great. And then take the elbows up shoulder height. At the same time, if it's within your range today, take your right leg and cross it over your left. And if it's within your range today to wrap the ankle around the back of the sitting leg, you're in eagle pose, especially if you can lean forward a little bit at the hip crease. Take deep breaths here. Keep those elbows up. That's what tends to like get, to shrink, like to try to come down as you're in the posture. But just remember to keep those elbows up. If you want to just be seated straight in the chair, you can do that too. Unfurl the legs, uncurl the arms, allow the shoulders to come back and reintegrate. And let's put the left arm out and the right arm on top of that. Twirl the arms around. If the palms can touch, great. If not, just keep them wherever they are and raise the elbows. Then take the left leg if it's within your range of motion today and cross it over the right and see if you can get that ankle around the ankle of the bottom leg. And if you want to try to even take it further and bend at the hip crease, you can. If not, just being here is fine. You're really giving those shoulders a nice stretch. Uncurl the legs, uncurl the arms, get your shoulders down, you can let them come down your back. And let's stand for tree pose. I think we can all stand for tree pose today. Just come to the right side of the chair so your left hand can rest on the chair just in case. So first, spread your toes wide, feel the earth beneath you, press down. Then at the same time, we're rooting and rising. Rise up with your spine, get tall. See if you can get that extra half inch that we got earlier today. Then shift your weight, not your hip. You don't want to jut the hip out, but shift your weight so you're onto your left foot. As you turn the right foot, bring it to the ball of the foot, rest the heel into the inside of the leg. And if you can, raise the leg, that's great. If you need to hold on to the chair, that's fine. Your hands could be in prayer. If you can get it up to your thigh, which I don't think I have on this side today, maybe. I'm not so sure. I'll just keep it here. You can take your branches and let them waver in the wind. I don't know what it's like in the Northeast today, if it's windy. You can take your hands down into goddess arms. You know that integrates the shoulders down your back. You can clasp them behind you. If your leg comes down, smile, it's all good. Just bring it back up. Balancing is so important because as we get older, we don't want to fall, and this can help. Try to keep that knee out to its side and gently bring the foot down and let it meet the other. Heel toe, pedal your feet a little bit just so that you can feel that that your legs come back and they're even. And let's move to the other side of the chair. So same thing, you can hold on to the chair if you'd like, if you want to put your hands in prayer, but we're grounding our feet in evenly, and then we're shifting our weight to the right foot. As our left foot comes up to the ball of the foot, the heel moves to the inner part of the leg. We do not want to jut the right hip out to compensate for the leg that's about to lift. So you can lift the leg, it could stay on the ankle, it could just stay on the floor. You can leave the ball of the foot on the floor if you'd like, or if you could bring it up into the inside of the leg, anywhere is fine. Hands to prayer, swinging branches, goddess arms, clasped arms. Take any part of the pose you like that feels good to you today. And if your foot comes down, just put it right back up where it belongs. And gently allow that foot to come down and meet the other. So balancing really helps us because as we move around in the world, and if you lose your balance, you can gain it back if you have the practice. So at this point, I think I asked you all to have a pillow. We're about to go into Shavasana. So you take that pillow, whether it's a throw pillow or a bed pillow, and place it on your thighs, just like a weighted blanket. Helps you get cozy and comfy, and they've determined that, and that's like a big seller out there. Just having the pillow on your lap allows you to feel this sense of coziness and will maybe allow you to go into Shavasana a little deeper. So our hands can be palms open, which is a mudra, which is a hand movement of gratitude and openness and kindness. Or if you'd like to keep your energy within yourself, you can bring your hands together like this. Your hands are resting on the pillow in any case. And you can now, you're a fist distance away from the back of the chair, but lean back, let your chin come to your chest. Close your eyes if that works for you. Otherwise, find a soft gaze. And as we sit here for a couple of minutes, scan the body for any tension. You might feel tension in your shoulders, you might feel tension in your hips, you might be clenched somewhere, your hips might be clenched, your ankles, your feet, just on your own, scan the body and try to find some place that you can relax. While you're here, I'm going to leave you with words that my yoga teacher, we all have lineages in yoga, and my yoga guru, who taught me, trained me, used to say to us while we were in Shavasana, you are beauty, you are love, you are light, and you are truth. And you are kind, I'm adding that. Shavasana is so important because it is the moment in our doing yoga, practicing yoga, where our body reintegrates and all of the movements that we just did get integrated into the body. It sort of recalibrates the body. So if you want to stay here, feel free. It's a beautiful place to be. If you're ready to come out, we'll start by wiggling our fingers, wiggling our toes, removing the pillow. Your eyes can still be closed. Like, sit up straight and our hands come to heart center. And in yoga, we always end the practice with namaste, which is really sending kindness your way. That's my theme for the day. Really what it means in Sanskrit is that the light in me recognizes the light in you. So namaste. I'm so grateful that you spent the time with me this morning and honored that you did. Thank you.